Okay, hopefully this is recording. This is the review for the curriculum check. Let's see. Gotta put it in writing mode. So, as soon as it lets me write on it, here we go. 3 undefined terms of geometry are points, lines, and planes. Tomorrow, when you take this test, it will say which one's not an undefined term, so you're looking for something that's not a point, a line, or a plane. On this one, we're using triangle sum theorem, which says that all these angles in a triangle add to 180. So the algebraic way to set that up is to do 2x plus 11 plus 80 plus 65 equals 180. Now, I would probably just subtract 80 from 180 and get 100, then subtract 65 and get 35, but and set it equal to that. But either way is fine. You're doing the same thing. So first I would combine my like terms, so add 11 plus 80 plus 65. You get 156. So we have 2x plus 156. Sorry, and I can't undo on here. Plus 156 equals 180. Sorry, I don't know why, but I think I'm just too close to this computer and it's not letting me write. So then I would subtract 156 from both sides. We get 2x. I'm about to lose my mind. Sorry, this pen. We get 24. Why did I get 35 earlier? Oh, it's because the 11. 24, and then you divide both sides by 2 and you get x equals 12. This one is exterior angle theorem, which says that the 2 angles added on the inside should equal this one on the outside. So 11x plus 4 plus 35. Like, you guys, I'm going to lose it. Equals 18x minus 3. So I'm going to add those together. I get 11x plus 39. And that equals 18x minus 3. Then I'd subtract the 11x. And I'm going to go ahead and add the 3. Nope. I'm sorry, I can't undo, so I can't even undo that line. So when I add the 3, I get 42. When I subtract those, I get 7x. So then you divide, you get 6 for x. Hopefully just setting it up's enough for you to understand it. Okay, then we have acute means that all the angles are less than 90. Right means it has at least one right angle. Obtuse means that at least one angle is bigger than 90. Scalene means none of the sides are the same. Isosceles means 2 are the same. And equilateral means 3. They go in order in the directions. 0 the same, 2 the same, 3 the same. Okay, so all these are the same, so that is acute and equilateral. Yep, that's how I make my E's now. This one has a right angle, so that makes it right. And none of the sides are the same, so that makes it scalene. Okay, so on this one, since this is isosceles, we know from base angles theorem that this must also be 65. So x plus 65 plus 65 should equal 180. So if we add 65 and 65, you should get 130. Subtract the 130 and you get x equals 50. Now on this one, this is 53. So, without using this top part, I'm just going to figure out what this angle should be. So I'm going to add 53 and 53 and get 106, and then take 180 and subtract 106. So I know that this angle right here has to be 74. So if it also has to be this, I know that 7x minus 10 has to equal 74. If the pin bothers you, you're just going to have to tough it out because it's bothering me too, and I hate it. I hate it. So I'm going to add this 10, get 84, divide and get 12. That's a good 12. Let me just oh my heavens to Betsy. Ignore all that. Okay, so on this one, I always think of it as c squared. So if c squared is smaller, that means our sign looks like this, because c's over here. Then it's a cube. If c squared is bigger, that means our sign's like this. It's obtuse. And if they're equal, it's a right triangle. So do 11 squared. Nope, that's not a squared. Squared plus 12 squared. Blank 15 squared. I know 15 squared is 225. I'm going to do 11 squared plus 12 squared on my calculator. You get 265. So C is smaller, which means that angle is smaller. So it's acute. A lot of you have that memorized backwards because y'all think if this is smaller, then it's the angle smaller. It's always C though, this one over here. So 3 squared plus 4 squared, blank 5 squared. So that's 9 plus 16, that's 25. 5 squared is 25. Those are equal. This is right. This is Pythagorean theorem because we know two sides and we're looking for the third side. So do 5.6 squared plus 8.4 squared. That should equal x squared. And it says round to the nearest tenth, I think, on Socrative at least. So 8.4 squared and 5.6 squared. When I add those together, I get 101.92. Then I take the square root of that. And if it says round to the nearest tenth, that should be 10.1. Now this is trig, and I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you should know that these are the exact same ones from the test. I'm pretty positive. So that should help, right? So if this is our angle, the sides touching it are the hypotenuse and the adjacent. The one not touching it's the opposite. So if this is our angle, we have adjacent and hypotenuse touching it. The one that doesn't touch it is opposite. So on this one, we're dealing with hypotenuse and adjacent. So I know that's cosine. And you put the angle right here with the cosine, but I can't read the angle because I wrote over it. I think it's 63. Nope, that's not the eraser. It's just me scribbling. Yeah, 63. So cosine of 63 equals adjacent is on top, hypotenuse on bottom. When it's like that, you switch and divide. So we have x equals 19 divided by cosine of 63. Now, I got to switch my calculator to degree mode because I was having to prove somebody wrong today about degree mode. So I switched to radians. Now that I'm back in degrees, I'm going to do 19 divided by cosine Wait, let's see if this is open. It looks like it is. I can't do that because I'm in screenshot. Never mind. So I get 41.85 and so on. So nearest 10th, it says nearest 10th on my paper, but nearest whole number. No, this is nearest 10th. So this is 41. It's these down here that are nearest whole number. 41.9. This one's dealing with opposite and adjacent, so that's tangent. So tangent of 42 equals the opposites on top, adjacent on bottom. When the variable's on top like this, you don't switch and divide, you multiply. So in your calculator, you'll type 10, then tangent 42. And I get 9.0. You get like 9.004, and it says nearest tenth, so you have to put the 0. Now, it will be like that on your test, but it will be multiple choice, so you shouldn't mess it up. But a lot of people get that wrong on their review and get all mad about it. I don't know why. It's perfectly logical to me that you put the tenth. I'm just kidding. I know why. But that's just the rule. So get over it. All right, so this is the angle we're looking for. We have the hypotenuse and the opposite side, so that's sine. Notice there's one of each, cosine, tangent, sine. I wonder if it'll be like that on the test. I don't know if it is, I'm just saying that. So sine of x, and we have opposite over hypotenuse. So that's when you hit the second sine button and it brings up this inverse of sine. It's because we don't know the angle. That's when you do inverse. 11 over 17. So second sine 11 divided by 17 gets you 40.3, but it says nearest degree, so we just put 40 degrees. All right, this is a 45, 45, 90, which means the legs are the same. A lot of people mess that up on their unit test, so you might want to be careful about that. That was supposed to be a congruent mark, but my computer hates me. So that means this would have to be radical 2, because this one is. Then you multiply that by a radical 2 to get the hypotenuse. So you're doing radical 2 times radical 2. That equals just 2. Now you could put radical 4 if you want, but the square root of 4 is still just 2. Then we have a 30, 60, 90 to get to the short leg. From the hypotenuse, you divide by 2. So 6 radical 3 divided by 2. You just reduce 6 over 2, which is 3, so you get 3 radical 3. Then you multiply that by radical 3 to get this side. So 3 radical 3 times radical 3 is like 3 times just 3. Remember, radical 3 times radical 3 is just 3. And that is 9. So that's what you get for this side. These are both T pattern. I think you do have an L pattern on there. I don't know why I put 2 T patterns on here, but hopefully by now you know them. If this were L pattern, let me just show you real fast. If it was this one right here, you do 9 over x equals x over 16. You do the whole hypotenuse. But for T pattern, you should be doing x. No. Oh man, I erased some of that. So T pattern is part over altitude equals altitude over other part. So you have to subtract these and get 7. So you can do 7 over x equals x over 9. You could also switch the 7 and the 9. It doesn't matter. Then you cross multiply, you get x squared equals 63. And then you'll take the square root of both sides. So I'd break this down to 7 and 9. That's 3 and 3. So you get a pair of 3s. So your answer there should be 3 radical 7. Oh my word, that's making me mad. Sorry, it's all ugly. It won't let me write. Okay, then on this one you have to subtract them as well. I think that's 56, but let me make sure because I don't want to mess up. Yeah, so this right here is 56. So it should be 56 over x equals x over 25. I'm sorry about this hideous handwriting. It's driving me crazy. That's better. Cross multiply. 56 times 25 is 1400. So you get 1400 equals x squared. You'll take the square root of both sides, and then you got to break down 1400. I'm going to come down here and do that. I would do 114, because I know 14 is 7 and 2, but then that's done. 100 I'd break down to 10 and 10, and then just stop right there and bring out that pair of 10s. So you should get 10 on the outside, 14 on the inside. Then on this next part, you have to make sure that when you add the two smaller sides, they are bigger than the third side. So 7 plus 6 added together is 13. 13 is bigger than 10, so that's a yes. 10 and 7 are the two smaller sides. 17 is not bigger than 20, so this one's no. On this one, the smallest angle is across from the smallest side. So first of all, I'm going to add 20 and 50 and get 70, subtract that from 180 and get that this angle is 110. So 20 is the smallest angle. So the side across from that, like 20 is angle F. So the side directly across from F would be the one that doesn't contain letter F. It'd be ED or DE, either way. Then the next one's the one across from 50, so that's FE. And then FD is the longest. Here the smallest side is 18. Across from that is angle X. Now I know it says sides and angles. I just had to make it smaller, like the directions the same for both of them to make it all fit on one page. But it's multiple choice on Socrative, so it should just be asking you for angles. Across from 23 is angle Y. That's just supposed to be an angle symbol. And then angle Z is the biggest. Okay, complementary means they add up to 90. Linear pairs make a line, so it's 180. Vertical angles are across from each other when two lines intersect, and adjacent just means they share a side. I'm going to scroll down here. So I can't really do much other than just tell you these two are adjacent. They don't make a line, they don't add to 90, they're just adjacent. Now a linear pair is adjacent, but it also makes a line, so a linear pair is more specific. This makes a 90-degree angle, that's complementary, and these are vertical because they're across from each other. And that's it